All right, here we go. Faction turn time. Okay, the dwarves of Montscar are getting their mountain back, and okay, what do I roll? Okay, I got a 5, so they successfully got the upper floors from the Black Flag orcs. Hey, bud, are you winning? Just a minute, man. Just 1 minute. Cries of pain stream from the battlements as sons and daughters of Moradin crack the redoubt of the orcish squatters to their ancestral homes. The fallen foes do nothing to satiate. Jesus, Chet, what? Is this the prophecy coming true? Will the Goldhammer line sit once more on the throne? Chet, I am literally doing my faction turn right now. I promise I will look at your PC concept later. I haven't seen you in a while. No, Tuesday does not come after Wednesday. That would be Thursday. I thought we were meeting on Tuesday. Yeah, it's just that, sorry, I just have a second job now managing 30 people who don't know what a Tuesday is. You've been kind of trapped in here for like 9 or 10. I am battling time zone demons that make HP Lovecraft look like Dr. Seuss. That doesn't seem good. Can Bronza Goldhammer wash the avaricious stain of our ancestral line? No, Chet, you are not playing a Glock-wielding centaur. This is a War of the Roses inspired campaign. Although, yes, I am pretty sure you are correct. That does make you, in fact, a technical. Welcome to the third video of my Open Table series, and yes, this is the weird one. My name is Eric Vulgaris, and I am actually a doppelganger. I am from the 3rd edition Monster Manual from October 2000, and I am freakishly trapped here because of a strange power surge accident occurring during the 2001 Gen Con where Kyle Hitchcock rolled a natural 20 during a power surge, and now I do not know what to do. I cannot get back. I hate pretending to be a human. This timeline is awful, but until that sweet release, let's talk about Open Tables. Let's start with my most broadly applicable piece of advice. That is, table culture beats technology every single time.
You have all these rules and you think they'll save you.
Nobody can ever promise you that you're not going to get sick. However, we can all be hygienic. If we want to foster a table of emotionally intelligent, friendly, active, social players who make space for others in this delightfully weird little hobby of ours, then we have to walk the walk. This is not something that you can achieve overnight or you can have. This is a continual process. As the organizer of your group, you must avoid putting people down. You must always assume good faith from the people you're interacting with. And also, you must assume that that next person who wants to join your table is the best damn player that's ever existed. And just because you're the organizer, you're not the only one responsible for making sure the group's having a good time. But it's unrealistic to not believe the buck stops with you. It's never easy simultaneously keeping a group of like-minded gamers and growing it. So in addition to just becoming a good discerner of people you want in your life, a great skill to possess outside of games IRL as well. Over my various campaigns, I've implemented iterations of these kinds of rules to promote the values I want to see out of the folks in my groups. In order to help facilitate newbies coming into our games, I would keep an open seat or like a special reservation status available for 1 seat every session I ran, specifically for these brand new people or that odd rare person who can't play frequently who wants to game. Rock safety tools like an X card or something like that. In-game XP rewards for someone stepping up to be the captain of a session who works to organize the other players and get a plan and facilitate. In the rare cases of decision paralysis, they are authorized to break the stalemate and just overrule. Furthermore, I've offered XP for being the session's cartographer, or XP for being the group's chronicler and writing up the session's after-action reports for sharing with others, all in hopes of kindling that kind of esprit de corps. I will wager your name's not Perseus, and you have not cut off the head of Medusa, and the cast of Critical Role has not sprung fully formed from her dead body, and available to meet every Wednesday for your games. So, here's the real truth about attracting good players. I found YouTube actual play communities that help kickstart my community finding. For me, that was 3D6 Down the Line and Stream of Blood, but for you, it can be someone totally different. I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube content creator Discords that will work too. But you're not going to go there and just lasso up your entire open table and everything's going to be hunky-dory. No, it takes a lot more work than that. Sometimes the people who are available for your open table games might not have long-term games for a reason or several. What's always worked for me is when I'm joining a new community is I need to offer running one-shots. I will join other people running games, and then I will also, in return, run my own weird games. And by running a constellation of one-shots with these various communities, eventually, like Nick Fury, I begin to tap the folks that I jive the most for my Avengers. I begin to invite the ones I gelled with the most into this sort of inner circle of folks I would consider for longer term gaming. Not to get too deep into my own personal lore, but I used to have a really, really great group that I would game with constantly, like 20 plus people when I was living in America. But then when I moved to Europe, I basically had to start from scratch with a few exceptions, because simply put, the time zones make it a lot harder to game, especially when you were now 8 hours ahead. And if it wasn't abundantly clear by this series already, my experiences are mostly centered around playing online. My last, big open table IRL experience was in Seattle many moons ago, where I was playing story games at a meetup. So if you're for advice about starting something at your church or your game store, that specific stuff, I'm not sure I can help you with. Could still be transferable, but yeah, there's just be some stuff that doesn't apply. However, if you are running mostly online,
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
So now I've gathered a lot of practical considerations you need to make for your games. You need to be consistent when you're running your games. There are no shortcuts here. You must be consistent. You have to be able to run the games you say you're going to run. The frequency and intensity of your sessions should be the lowest amount that you can 100% confirm and commit to. Treat this shit like a trepidatious new gym member. When you're feeling up to it, you can schedule bonus sessions, you can play for longer when everyone agrees, but just commit to the lowest amount 100%. Also, holy shit, what? My dice are glowing? Players are spending their time organizing themselves, coming up with plans, making schedules, and if you're too tired or too nervous because you didn't finish the dynamic lighting of a map, or you didn't think you prepped hard enough, or just something and you just don't want to go on for the game for that session, your campaign will lose momentum and likely die. This ties back into what I'm talking about table culture, but more so, it ties back to my second video about players rising to the level of effort you put into your games, and the inverse to this is true as well. If you make your game low effort, players will treat your game as low effort. It's that simple. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is that you got to decide if journeying to your destination is a crucial part of your game or not. Folks are going to schedule in order to accomplish a goal in one of these sessions of yours, or in the hopes of accomplishing a goal and seeing how far they get. Admittedly, this is most poignant in West Marches type games where you begin and end in safe havens, but the point still is true for all games, is that sessions are limited time, discrete events. Folks are literally dedicating their real life to doing with you, and sometimes the process of just getting to these goals might mean they get sidetracked by random encounters, or weather, or negotiating with a random NPC, or just role-playing around a campfire with each other, and then all of a sudden, 3/4 of the session is over, and you're only now just starting to get the traction on that goal and accomplish it. This means that we only have a quarter of the session before we all have to go back to town or fit another session in where we're all doing this goal again together sometime in the future. And you might go, oh shit, this exploration and journeying part of this game is actually getting in the way of the actual fun of the sessions that we all kind of want. And then you're going to be having to rewrite these rules or something like that for your game. Or you still need to sympathize with your players, but then gently refer to your campaign pitch document about how exploration and survival are pillars of this game, and the world is truly cruel and dispassionate. Such is life. Count your blessings, little one, that you have lived to see another day, and winter's touch did not claim you. Your plans are meager, breath in a mirror, easily wiped away. The winds of winter do not howl just for you. Next, you're going to need to decide if downtime and out-of-game actions are a crucial part of your game or not. Again, due to the limited nature of time for sessions, stuff in the game is going to have to happen outside of the game. The political or the domain level type actions. Engaging in diplomatic intrigue and securing political legitimacy for your adventuring party in town, or negotiating rights to use a faction's base as a safe haven in a mega dungeon. progression stuff, like studying a scroll, or secret tome, or finding a buyer for that statue that might just be a bit too detailed. Or perhaps you rescued the last swordmaster of the 9 seals, who can teach you the fire stance, but only during the winter solstice. Do you want your players to have the opportunity to fail in these types of pursuits? Or are we just eliding time here and letting success happen over time for convenience's sake? How much of your game do you want to happen outside of the normal scheduled sessions? I don't claim to have the perfect answer for these questions that works for you. I only have what works for me, and I implore you to think about it for yourself. But if you're looking for a pace to start from, I recommend my adventuring blocks covered in my last video. Run 1 session a week for 3 weeks, then break for 1 week. During that week off, you can do faction turns and catch up with anything you need to do for players' downtimes, like generating rumors or whatever. Also, literally, just have time to relax. Play that new video game that just came out a little bit, or go on a date with your wife or whatever. Just catch your breath. No, like, for real though, about this dice, like, I don't know if they should be glowing. Write up those crafting rules you're interested in, or world build a little bit more about the factions, or redraw that map like you said you wanted to do, or maybe just use the time to retrospect your game and collect general feedback from your players. Okay, the next thing I want to stress, you're going to want to avoid co-GMing these games. Now, look, I'm sure it can work. I'm sure others have actually done it. But I think there is an allure that I'm trying to dispel, and that is having another person with you behind the screen will help share the load and make the game easier. And that's just not true. Any potential savings of time and effort you get from having a co-GM is completely wasted because you're going to be spending all that effort trying to just sync up with them. Formalizing all your thoughts into a document and stuff, listen, it's just going to burn you out. I know these next 2 pieces of advice are iconoclastic. I am going against the sacred texts, but I do take some umbrage from Ben Robbins' blog. Fun fact, when I was in Seattle, that story games meetup that I would go to, run by the very same Ben Robbins. And importantly distinguished from Baskin-Robbins, the ice cream company whose West Marches flavored ice cream comes with real sand, pieces of the Philadelphia mascot Gritty, and requires 5 complete strangers to come along with you to go get it. And yes, I cut to my face to do this because the concept of putting those constituent parts into Photoshop to create a joke seems far too scary for me to do. Your counterspell succeeds at canceling my Big B's yapping hand. And let's return to what I disagree with about the West Marches. The original West Marches advice about players scheduling games is a trap. The GM is a load-bearing role for sessions, and my recommendation is to offer a consistent date and times for your game, sort of like a college university professor's office hours. This literally goes against his #1 first sentence on his blog, but trust me, it's just so much better. I'm not telling you to organize the game for them, what happens in a session is still 100% the players. I'm just humbly proposing that if you solve the when part of the problem, all of the discussion then becomes really good about the what and the how for each session. Ben Robbins harps a lot about the virtues of competitiveness and competition amongst players in their campaigns, and maybe that works in the physical space, but I live in that more anonymous Hobbesian world of online play, where creative and goal-based disagreements actually will just fracture and kill your game. Competition and FOMO are good motivators for cohesive groups, but they will absolutely go catabolic on your already brittle Discord full of strangers. You have to be able to trust your fellow players. Not only would you not be incentivized to write up your after-action reports if you don't trust your fellow players, imagine if you weaponized misinformation and made people waste sessions on nothings. This is why it goes back to playing with players who are willing to compromise for the fun of everybody. And yes, if you recall, I was really excited about this competitive Mouse Ritter campaign that I wanted to do. Yeah, that flies directly in the face of this advice. I'm built different. I wanted to stress test and really try to break that rule and see how far it goes. Unlike everyone else who hubristically put themselves above the gods and got eternally punished for it, I am built different. That won't happen to me. I am better than that. In fact, I might be better than the gods. Jokes aside, there is something true about testing your assumptions, and something me and other open table GMs I know, we all like to try new things in our campaigns because we weren't happy with I don't know, our faction system or our domain play, or we want to try not incentivizing our players for session reports or something, just see what happens, just to like mix it up and have a experiment. Okay, well, I think that will do it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking it through to the very end. I know this was a little bit odd and bizarre, but if there's anything I can do or anything that can help you with your open tables, I would love to help. I love this hobby so much, and I love that you've watched this video here to the very end. I did notice that there was quite a bit of my thoughts and ideas for this video were from the cutting room floor of my second one, and at the end of this video I realized that the bits that are left over are probably enough for a fourth video, so I will be doing a fourth one in this series, focused mostly about how to start and set up this game, a little more about hooks and maps and blah 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 blah. So look forward to that. Until then, I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.